At the beginning of this week's parasha of Toldot, we're taught that Yitzchak loved his older son Esav kitzayid befiv, literally because there was game in his mouth. According to many of the Meforshim, this phrase befiv, his mouth, refers to the mouth of Yitzchak, and therefore Targum Onkelos explains that Yitzchak loved his older son Esav because he would give him meat from the hunt. And yet Rashi, while maintaining befiv is still referring to Yitzchak, understands the idea of tzayid differently, that it doesn't refer to actual hunting, but rather deception. In his view, Yitzchak preferred Esav only because Esav presented himself as a tzaddik, asking his father questions in halachah as if he really was a pious person. He was deceptive, and that deception unfortunately tricked Yitzchak. However, Reb Shamshon Raphael Hirsch in his commentary translates the phrase "kitzayid befiv" not about Yitzchak, but about Esav's mouth. That Rav Hirsch explains that Yitzchak admired Esav for his hunting skills in a sense of opposites attract. Or as Rav Hirsch writes, we see Isaac risen up again from death on the altar, preferring to withdraw from the bustle of the world, away from the busy traffic of men, that Esav's lusty, active nature appealed to him, and that he perhaps saw in him a force which he had lost and could be a support to the home would be quite possible. According to Rav Hirsch, the reason Yitzchak loved Esav because he saw with him in him something that he lacked, talents that could be a support to his home and compensate for what Yitzchak was missing. And yet, the late Rav Yehuda Herzl Henkin, in his commentary, New Interpretations on the parasha, while suggesting something similar, took it from a different angle. He too explained the phrase "tzayid befiv" as a reference to Esav's hunting skills, his ability to put game in his mouth. But according to Rav Henkin, Yitzchak admired Esav's self-reliance, his ability to fend for himself and take independent action. Yaakov was perceived by his father as lacking this quality of practical and proactive initiative. And therefore, in choosing the son who would continue after him, Yitzchak had to decide between Esav, the skilled hunter, and Yaakov, a man of spiritual greatness, but who lacked his brother's worldly talents. As Rav Henkin describes Yitzchak's choice, he wrote, he chose Esav because Esav would be able to father a great people, as Avram had been promised. The spirituality Esav lacked, he or his children could acquire later. But what good were Yaakov's spiritual qualities if he was incapable of meeting the challenges of life? It was only later, when Yaakov deceived Yitzchak to be able to get the blessings from Esav, that he proved to Yitzchak that he was capable of the same kind of bold action. And therefore, Gam Baruch Yihiyem, that Yaakov, rather than Esav, would be the one to continue. That ultimately, while it was a sense of Yadayim Yadei Esav, Yitzchak recognized that it was the voice of Yaakov with the Yadayim Yadei Esav, the voice of Yaakov with the hands of Esav, that was what we would need as a people.